Across the education sector, teachers are seeking greater balance to persist in their role and are leaving the profession at increasing rates due to burnout. We have learned that having insufficient time to plan for lessons and collaborate with peers, as well as having a large number of scholars who are behind grade level, are two major contributors to this burnout. This national challenge that our teachers face for sustainability and balance is directly connected to our scholars' outcomes. Hi, I'm Sonja Grant, Vice President of Network Initiatives for Alliance College-Ready Public Schools. Alliance is the largest charter network in Los Angeles, serving 26 schools and nearly 13,000 scholars. In the fall of 2023, two of our middle schools, Alliance College-Ready Middle Academy 4 in the South LA Watts neighborhood, and Valera Middle Academy in the Sun Valley area, launched Reimagining the Alliance Educator, an initiative designed to help Alliance get ahead of industry trends by increasing well-used planning time and providing additional support to scholars who are behind grade level. At our Reimagining the Alliance Educator pilot schools, we have more than doubled planning time for our teachers, created new targeted intervention opportunities for scholars, and significantly expanded enrichment opportunities at each school. Now, we hope to pass along what we've learned to give you tools for your own school in hopes of spreading this groundbreaking work. Alliance College-Ready Public Schools brings to you Reimagining the Alliance Educator, the podcast. Practical discussions and advice on finding greater balance for teachers and better outcomes for scholars. Today, in our season finale, I'm back with staff from Mohan High School. Through the pilot, Mohan gives their teachers 2 planning periods every day, bringing planning time up to 11 hours weekly. They've also expanded on-campus dual enrollment, giving their scholars the incredible opportunity to earn college credits while still in high school.
When you look at the research when it comes to dual enrollment, the reality is that there's so much benefit to students enrolled in dual enrollment classes for a variety of reasons. The first being that you immediately create a college-going culture starting day one because they're not high school students anymore. They are college students. And here at Mohan, we tell them every day, you're already in college. And for those students that never thought they were going to be a college student, I constantly remind them, but you are. You are a college student. You're taking college classes.
Coming up on Reimagining the Alliance Educator, the podcast. We met my first guest in episode 2. Welcome back, Andrew. Give our listeners a reminder of who you are.
My name is Andrew King, and I'm the proud principal of Alliance Dr. Olga Mohan High School. I've been in education for 17 years.
So, my first question for you is, what staff and other programmatic costs have you added in order to support this pilot program?
In order to make this pilot program work, we had to add an additional Spanish teacher. This was because we only have a department of 2 teachers. And when we went from a model of 5 to 6 to 4 to 6, we just needed one other person to make those numbers work because we didn't want to have our class sizes balloon into the 40s. What we did benefit from is the fact that we already had a strong partnership with LA Trade Tech. So that both afforded us the opportunity to expand our classes from 3 to 9, but it also served as a safety valve for our class sizes. So if there needed to be a way to reduce class sizes in some electives, we could direct those students towards our dual enrollment courses.
And can you talk a little bit about whether you're seeing class sizes increase, and if so, how you made decisions around where to increase class size and where not to?
We are seeing class sizes increase across the board. However, what we found is that since Alliance has had a history of being a community of small schools with small classes, we went from maybe going to a class size of 22 to about 28. There are a couple courses that might be upwards of 32, but we also have a good amount of classes wherein we have co-teachers. And so you'll still have 2 adults in those spaces. And so the ratio will still be well within something that our teachers have found reasonable. And they find the trade-off between having double the planning time worth the extra 6 to 7 students.
And can you tell us a little bit more about what you're going to be able to do in terms of dual enrollment course offerings for your kids for the upcoming year?
Absolutely. I am most excited about the expansion of dual enrollment here at Moen for the coming year. So we started off dual enrollment with our students this first year at about 3 courses. Next year, with the expansion, we're going to be offering 9 different courses in dual enrollment. That's going to cover college counseling, business, healthcare, and digital media, ensuring that our students have access to courses that they're interested in that might fit within their career pathways, but also give them a taste of what college is like. I like to say to our students that at Moen, college begins for them.
Can you talk a little bit about what you're hoping scholars will get out of the expanded dual enrollment programming?
I think the benefits of dual enrollment have already paid dividends starting this year when we rolled it out. The mere fact that we started with 100 students and now we'll be moving on to 300 students this coming school year is incredibly exciting. When you look at the research when it comes to dual enrollment, the reality is that there's so much benefit to students enrolled in dual enrollment classes for a variety of reasons. The first being that you immediately create a college-going culture starting day one because they're not high school students anymore. They are college students. And here at Moen, we tell them every day, you're already in college. And for those students that never thought they were going to be a college student, I constantly remind them, but you are. You are a college student. You're taking college classes. I think one of the other major benefits of taking dual enrollment courses in high school is the time and money factor. They'll be able to earn 1 to 2 years of college credit here at Moen before moving on to a 4-year college, which is super important when it comes to making sure that they will be on track to graduate, which means that they're more likely to change their family tree, especially considering that most of our students and families are first-year college grads. And so to ensure that we meet that aspirational goal of 75% of Alliance students graduate from college, I think one of the best ways to be able to do that for our families is to have them reduce the amount of time they're in a 4-year school by getting them to earn those credits while in high school, where we can provide the support that they need.
And you've been really creative with your funding to be able to afford the program. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about that?
I think there's been a lot of ways that we've been creative with our funds. I think the first part is just looking to see what other opportunities were out there for funding. So over the last 2 years, we've been able to earn upwards of $2 million from state funds, the Dual Enrollment Grant, the Golden State Pathways Grant, and the Community Schools Grant. That's allowed us to hire staffing. That's allowed us to make sure that we were able to offset expansions of our dual enrollment program. And that's been such a huge boon for our community. So I strongly urge folks to go out there and apply for those grants because the state wants our schools to provide better services. And so the money's out there for the taking. Our partnership with Trade Tech has been so beneficial to our community because while we have been able to offer all these great classes, it's virtually cost us nothing. The partnership with Trade Tech, they pay for all the books, they pay for the professors. All we have to do is provide the space and the students and periodically maybe sub coverage. We've been able to expand our elective offerings. We've been able to provide courses that interest our students with very little cost to our school. I think the biggest cost to us has been having a coordinator that manages that partnership. But other than that, I find that this has been one of the most beneficial cost-saving measures at our school. And I don't even see it as a cost-saving measure because these are worthwhile investments that I would pay for, but I found that I haven't had to. And so I strongly urge all schools to pursue this type of partnership. I think the last thing that's really benefited us is a lot of times our budget goes towards paying for substitute teachers. Because we have co-teaching in all of our math and English classes, whenever one of those teachers is out, there's no requirement to hire a sub because there is already a qualified credentialed teacher in that classroom that has co-taught that class, which means the learning continues even if one of those teachers are gone. And what we've heard from our students when we've surveyed them about the co-taught classes is that they love those courses specifically because they feel like no time is wasted. They would much prefer to be in a co-taught class because it means they don't need to have a sub because a sub is a waste of time for them and they prefer to work rather than to feel like they're wasting time with a substitute teacher. And so that's really helped us in costs, but it's also improved our academics and improved the community that we have here at Moen.
It's such a powerful model in so many different ways. I'm curious, Andrew, in the absence of your partnership with LA Trade Tech, how many staff would you have had to hire in order to support this program roughly?
If we did not have that Trade Tech partnership, doing the math in the back of the napkin, I think we would have had to hire about 4 to 6 teachers in order to get to the class sizes that we thought were reasonable and also have teachers in the right departments.
So financially, not the most sustainable route. And LA Trade Tech has really just been an essential partnership for ensuring that this work can take root.
Absolutely. I think that while we would have explored the Trade Tech partnership anyway, it provided us an opportunity to really dig deep into the pilot bell schedule opportunity, and it just worked out really well.
Finally, any advice that you have for principals who are exploring this opportunity but are perhaps either hesitant because of the financial investment or the investment in time or the challenges that are inherent to innovation?
I think we shouldn't be afraid of innovation because what it does allow us to do is to get back to the basics. Because of this bell schedule pilot, what it allowed me to do is to provide my team the time to go back to some of the strongest practices that we used to implement here, but just did not have the time to do because of all the new demands of education. So when I think about innovation, it doesn't mean a new way of teaching. It means finding a new system to allow us to do what we do best. And so I really want principals to really approach it from that lens. I think it's also really important for leaders to ask their staff if they're ready. This did take a lot of time and there was a lot of nervousness in the process. And so I think it's important to listen to your staff. I think it's important to be transparent throughout the process. Be mindful of the implications of class size and determine whether or not your team will see the trade-off as worthwhile. I think it's also really important to squash pipe dreams early. I think there are many who want to have that unicorn 4-day work week, and it just doesn't work in high school. And so I had to look at that first and then tell my staff pretty quickly, that's just not going to work for us and what we need to do. But let's try to find you something that will work and give you the time that you need. I think lastly, just make sure you're soliciting input. It's an iterative process. You're going to have to be patient and you're going to try new things and you're going to get disappointed. But so long as you have a team of teachers that you can go through the process with, it'll be a benefit to everyone in your community.
It was really wonderful hearing your reflections. We've been in the trenches together for the last several months, but just having a minute to take a step back and reflect and to hear a little bit more about all of your motivations and thought processes as you've led this work was just really great.
Thanks. Yeah, this last week has been just a huge moment of reflection and all of the initiatives that we've been rolling out here at Moen. And so next year, just to see it all come together, the co-teaching, the pilot bell schedule, the dual enrollment. I don't know how we're doing it all, and yet we manage and we're doing it well. So I'm excited about what next year has to hold for us.
And we're excited about what's ahead for Mohan and their scholars. This is Reimagining the Alliance Educator, the podcast.
Hi, my name is Eric. I'm an 11th grader and I go to Alliance Dr. Olga Mohan.
Hello, my name is Oscar. I'm a 9th grader at Dr. Olga Mohan High School.
My name's Ida, and I'm a 10th grader.
Think about a dual enrollment course that you've taken this year, a college course. What is something that you learned from taking that course? And how is that different from some of your normal high school classes that you take here at Mohan?
I would have to say it was my first college course that I ever took when I was a sophomore. It was over the summer, meaning it was off campus, so I did it on my own time. But it taught me how in college there's office hours and you get to have one-on-one time with your professor if you request it. And that's not something that I really take advantage of here in high school, which is why seeing it in a college aspect really helped me understand and grasp subjects and helped me pass a class with an A, which I thought was really nice. And after that, I did approach my high school teachers and ask for office hours in separate times.
I would like to talk about administration of justice. That class taught me a lot, not just the laws, but how to be open-minded. And maybe it's complicated, but like there's always a way through those type of problems. Also, to be independent, because in the college courses, you have to be independent, always keep on track to everything you say. And it's not the teacher. The teacher's not going to follow you 24/7.
And we'll be back after a short break. This is Reimagining the Alliance Educator, the podcast.
Thousands of parents across Los Angeles have made Alliance College-ready public schools their child's educational home. And thanks to our talented teachers, our scholars are doing amazing things. We're recognized at the local, state, and national levels, including by the U.S. News and World Report, for operating some of the best schools in the country. With 96% of our graduates accepted into college, we are making a real difference in the lives of our local communities. But it's all for naught if we aren't renewed. We need enthusiastic supporters like you, ones who will collaborate with policymakers, help with letter writing campaigns, and advocate for us at board meetings. Every staff, scholar, and family has a role to play to make sure we're renewed. So reach out to your local Alliance school and ask how you can become an Alliance advocate, or visit laalliance.org/get-involved. Together, we can foster a generation of well-rounded young adults who are resilient learners, community advocates, and wellness seekers. Together, we are one Alliance. Learn more at laalliance.org/get-involved.
Welcome back to Reimagining the Alliance Educator, the podcast. We'll check back in with our scholars at the end of this episode. But before we wrap up our season, I wanted to touch base with Natalie Hickman, one of the talented teachers at Mohan.
My name is Natalie Hickman. I am wrapping up my 7th year at Dr. Olga Mohan High School.
It's nice to have you with us again. Can you share what you think the impact of expanded dual enrollment will be for your scholars?
It's so hard for my students to imagine a life outside of high school, whether it's college or working, adulting. And so the opportunity to have professors, college professors come in, teach them in a space where they are comfortable and experience that and walk away with college credit, walk away feeling the confidence of, hey, I can do this. And I really didn't have to step out into the world as much. Hopefully when they graduate, they are now well prepared to step into that world because they already had a taste of it, an experience of it, and successfully. So it's really exciting for them to have that.
To have that experience in a safe space because they're still so young. And we know their next big step outside of high school can be daunting. It can be scary. And so giving them that exposure when they're in a safe space is just so powerful. Are you planning on taking a dual enrollment class next year? And if so, what class are you planning to take? And what are you the most excited about or interested in for that class?
I would have to say that I would be a fool if I didn't take a college course next year because 1, they're free, and 2, they help boost my GPA tremendously. So I feel like not enough students are taking advantage of this, and they look amazing on college transcripts because you look ambitious and just an overall go-getter, and I love that. And I'm happy that Mohan offers that program to help express that. I'll be taking a health class over the summer because not only am I really interested in it, it helps me get through my requirements when I get to college, meaning I'll get to skip and hopefully graduate early. And as for the last part, I'm most excited about the professors. I feel like with every class that I take, each professor is different, and I'm so ready to tackle on the challenge of just like meeting professors, getting to know them, and becoming really great with them. Because even with the professors that I used to have, or I still do right now, they've given me their contact info. If I ever need any reference or if I ever need any support, they always have me, and it's because of those connections that I built with Mohan.
I agree with Eric in that sense. I believe that we should really all take an advantage of this opportunity that our school is giving us. And yeah, next year I will be taking Administration of Justice, and I'm excited to dive deep into the laws and just everything of our government.
I would agree with both of them. It would be foolish if I didn't take any of those classes, and I would like to take media because I'm really interested in the arts that created, like the billboards, and those signs are really interesting. The colors that pop out, the vibes. I think it's really interesting, those type of topics.
And that wraps up our season. Thank you so much for joining us. If you felt inspired by our Reimagining the Alliance Educator pilot and the stories shared by our principals, teachers, and scholars, share our podcast with your community. Together, we can continue to reimagine education in this post-COVID era. This has been Reimagining the Alliance Educator, the podcast. If you're interested in learning more about Alliance College Ready Public Schools, in becoming an educator or enrolling your child, visit laalliance.org. Or if you're already a part of the Alliance community and are interested in the Reimagining the Alliance Educator program, reach out to your school leader. Let them know you think this is a good idea and ask for more information on how your school can join. And don't forget to rate the show. It really helps spread the word, which will hopefully inspire more schools to try something new. Reimagining the Alliance Educator, the podcast, is produced by the Alliance College Ready Public Schools Home Office team, with producer and writer Monique Madrid, Jass Stewart, and myself, Sonja Grant. Sound and editing was done by Jacob Tummino and Travis Thompson. Alliance's CEO is Pablo Villavicencio. Special thanks to Mohan High School Principal Andrew King, teacher Natalie Hickman, and our scholars Oscar, Eric, and Ida.
Brought to you by Alliance College Ready Public Schools.